Welcome back to my channel. It is Candace with a K, where I normally talk books, beauty, and kicks. Today I'm giving my review of Plus Size Player by Danielle Allen. So if you are interested in hearing my thoughts, please keep watching. It's been a minute since I've given you a book review, but I had to come back today to share my thoughts and opinions on Danielle Allen's second book in her Curvy Girl series or Curve Girl series, and this one is Plus Size Player. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed Curvy Girl Summer, so I knew that this was a mandatory one, and I know a third one is on the way. So I'm very excited about this series. I encourage you all to read it. It is a very good feel-good romance that really advocates for your plus size girls. It really champions being a full-figured woman, and it shows them being loved on in a way that is appreciative and not fetishized, and I think that is absolutely beautiful. So sometime last year, I attended Steamy LitCon, which is a conference that brings together romance authors and romance enthusiasts. And I was able to sit in on a panel of Danielle Allen really speaking to her mission as a writer, which is really to show bigger plus size women getting loved on in the most beautiful and realistic way. And I think that really comes through now that I have read another body of her work, and I really appreciate it. So as you know, when I break down these books, I start with the cover first, so let's talk about it. Looking at the ways that Curvy Girl Summer as well as Plus Size Player were both having this same illustration style, I think that really brings the series together. They look good next to each other, they complement each other, and I think that's excellent. I will say that I think the depiction of Nina on this cover wasn't really what I had in mind for her. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's just my understanding and feelings of who Nina is. I don't know if this is her. And granted, I don't know this woman, but I don't know. There is a disconnect. However, I think the illustration is beautiful, and Russ is fine in the book and on the cover. So that works for me. Let's now get into the description of the book. Alrighty, so as it reads on Amazon, Nina Ford likes to put all her eggs in one basket. She works multiple jobs, she enjoys multiple hobbies, and she dates multiple men. In her 30 years of life, Nina has never come across a man who has all the things she's looking for. She loves fun and excitement, and she has a man for that. She loves confidence and humor, and she has a man for that. She loves intelligence and ambition, and she has a man for that. She loves passion and romance, and she has a man for that. She's always been content rotating a few men in and out of her life to get her needs met. But when Russell Long, her designated fun guy, shows her that he's good for more than just thrills, it seems too good to be true. Nina finds herself in a predicament. She's found everything she's ever wanted in a career in one job. She's found everything she's ever wanted in a partner in one man. Inevitably, her eggs are bound to get cracked, like her back. And I think that really sums up the book. So you have Nina, who is this content creator who is booming in her career, but she also is dating. Okay, when I tell you that girl has a date for every single thing. But when this one man comes along, now she is kind of confuddled. She don't know what's going on, and she has to figure out what is she gonna do, because no other guy is giving her these same type of feelings. From this point on, there will be spoilers, and I will share my most honest opinion. So if you are interested in that, you can keep watching. But if you don't want me to spoil it for you and you want to know how the story unfolds on your own, go ahead and read the book. I have it linked down below, and make sure you come on back. Okay. So basically, Nina is this content creator who was approached to be a model for a campaign. Come to find out, the campaign and the modeling that she is doing is for Russell's company, of which he is the CEO. So just after they decide to become official, they then learn this is now her boss, essentially. So it also ties into this workplace romance and navigating that. In my personal opinion, I probably would have ended all ties with him at the moment that he became my boss, simply because I don't believe in the mixing of work and pleasure. That should never happen. On the other hand, they have built up such a strong relationship prior to her even knowing that he was a CEO, because they consciously made the choice to never talk about work. And so that puts you in a precarious position, because I feel like employment and work should come up immediately in dating. I understand people don't want to start with the "what do you do?" because I actually hate that question if you're trying to get to know me. But when you are seriously dating and you already agreed to be this man's boyfriend, you should have been like, okay, well, we do need to actually know what each other does for work, right? As someone who doesn't really date, I found this book so refreshing, as it advocated for you to date. And if you follow me on TikTok, earlier in the year, I posted a video about how I truly have been revolutionized on the thought of dating from watching Real Housewives of New York, because those women date and they experience men and leave it just as that. And I felt like that was the trajectory Nina was on. Like, I'm gonna date this man, I'm gonna get what I can experience from him, whether that be fun, whether that be education, whether that be humor, and then I'm gonna go on about my day. Until she really started to develop feelings for the fun one. And I personally felt as though there should have been more buildup, or rather more tension, in her negotiating the decision to put all her eggs in Russell's basket, because it almost was immediate that she discovered, I'm gonna put all my eggs in him, when she had been so anti that the entire time. So you can't be anti, I'm, gonna play the field, or I'm anti being with just one person, to now I'm throwing everything in it. And I don't know if that was a way for the author to show that when you know, which I'm okay with that too, if that is what it was. All in all, I feel like the book highlighted ways in which we as women can advocate for ourselves in our dating, in our sexuality, and being comfortable and okay with expressing emotions. Nina was all over the place at one point, because she was down bad. Like, you can't lose your best eater to work. Right? That sounds crazy. And so even the interactions that they were having in the workplace, in this work environment where they kind of had to disassociate, it's tough. I couldn't imagine sitting face to face with a person that I was just laid up with, and he's pretending like he's ignoring me. I think Russell was a stand-up guy in that he still was championing for her behind the scenes, on the low, in the corner, in the dark, what have you. Particularly in instances where her body became a thing. And so, as I previously said, Danielle Allen is going to make sure that the plus size women are represented and representative, right? And in moments throughout the book where there's experiences because of her size, Russell is making no minimal effort to show, I got you and I'm holding you down. I think that is wonderful. Many of the protagonists in the books that we read probably are your atypical, look like a model type figures. So it's always refreshing and nice to get that different perspective. All in all, I rated this book 4 stars because I really did like the pacing of the book, although I did want extra conflict, but that's just because I like a mess. I did want some type of tension between them that was more than just this workplace. In my opinion, I felt like the sister may have or should have found out that they were dating each other, or there should have been a greater and bigger sign that they were messing around on the low that could have blew up the whole operation. I also feel as though there should have been a little more of a slow burn in her deciding to put her eggs in the basket, in Russell's basket, or we should have saw more of that internal conflict of her trying to decide whether she should or should not go all in. I think that would have added some more fullness to the story. Otherwise, I think it was very good. The humor was there, which you can always expect from Danielle Allen. The thoughtfulness and like just understanding the internal dialogue that the character is going through and understanding kind of why and the what. I think all those pieces were definitely there. I am very excited for now the third installment of this book to complete the series, I believe, which is going to be the third friend that's been featured, which is Jazz. So I think this is such a good series to get into now while you have the chance, so that you can experience these characters before that final installment comes out. Once again, I'm Candace with a K. Be sure to follow my Bookstagram page, which is Candace with a K Reads. That is where I post all book-related content. And if you are interested in joining my romance book club, it is For the Lovers Romance Book Club, which can be found down below. Go ahead and hit that sign up link and you can join us monthly. This was our book club selection, so it was a perfect book to discuss, and hopefully you'll be at the next one, because we will be reading Once Upon a Time in Dollywood for the month of October. Okay, so if you are interested in any of that, you have all the means to communicate with me. Okay, until next time, I'll see you in my next video.